Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Just for Fun. We're going to do a multi-deck tech here because a lot of these, I'm going to be playing 4 different decks in some upcoming sets that I just built that all have cards in common, okay? And what I mean by that is there's a lot of similar overlap, which is why I was able to put them all together at the same time. So this is a deck that's been around forever. It's called Soul Sisters because we have the Soul Warden and Soul's Attendant and also Martyr Sands. So we have a bunch of lovely ladies in the 1-drop slot that are not slots, by the way. Okay. I didn't know she moved. All right, cool. And basically, it's a life gain white weenie beatdown deck. So it's the aggro combo. Basically, you can go either way. You can dirtle and gain life, or you can beat down with your little weenie creature set. Basically, Sarah Ascendant is kind of the top end of the deck and a Johnny's Pride mate, so this can get out of control if you're gaining a bunch of life. Sarah Ascendant, basically, once you've gained life, is out of control. Otherwise, you got a bunch of dorks. You got some Honor of the Purest to try to pump your dorks. You got Ranger of Eos to find selected dorks. You got Spectral Procession to make multiple dorks at a time. So it's a pretty simple kind of game plan. You do have some even mind sensors in the sideboard to work with Ghost Quarter and Path as kind of like a neat cruel trick, and white has excellent hate sideboard cards. So it's actually, you would think it's a buy against burn, but it really isn't. So like I actually did lose to burn with this deck, which is sad to admit, but it is I would say, a favorable matchup against most other aggro decks because of the life gain. But you can have trouble closing a game out because you don't have any like huge top end in the deck, but it does allow you to play a low land count and draw into a lot of action. So there's basically 2 other versions of this deck, right? So one is like a more focused Martyr deck. So it shifts it more controlling, right? So we have some enchantment-based removal and ghostly prisons, wraths, to slow our opponent down, while we try to win with Martyr Ascendant, and we can just keep re-getting everything with proc. So basically, you can cast this to get back whatever they kill, or you can use a Maria or a Mistveil Plains. The Mistveil Plains to put things back in your deck, and Maria to get them out of the graveyard, and so forth, to sort of like keep your threats online. And this version of the deck is better at a long game, and the removal makes it pretty strong against other decks. Having like a couple O-rings and Banishing Lights are good because they just kind of can get rid of anything. And you don't mind wrathing as much when you have proc to get your creatures back. So you can kind of go a little cuckoo gaining life here. Withered Wayfarer and Figure of Destiny are other bullets you can get with your Ranger of Eos. And again, white with pretty good sideboard options. So the third version of the basically same kind of deck is the Norn the Wary deck. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I hate this deck. I hate playing against this deck because there's a million friggin' triggers and it's really annoying online. Okay, so it's not that I hate the deck itself or hate people who play it. It's kind of a cool deck. And I've always been meaning to give it a try. It's not my favorite deck, but the trigger thing just annoys the shit out of me, so I didn't want to do it. So I sort of tweaked. This is not the stock list, pretty much. I changed the lands a bit, and I changed some of the other things here. We added a main deck Blood Moon because sometimes that just wins, and I put a Wear Tear in the main deck because you can almost always find something to use this on that's useful. the deck is weird. The split of stuff, like there's only one path in the deck, which is weird. But basically, this is abusing. So Champion of the Parish, right? And Norn. So every time Norn comes into play, Champion gets another counter. And then this just keeps bouncing forever. It also works really well with Genesis Chamber to make you a bunch of dudes. And then you can win with like Legion Loyalists, giving them trample, growing your Pride Mate, or Perforos, just, all the bouncing in and out and making tokens kill there. It's got like a lot of synergy and a lot of weird angles, so it's a little more versatile than the mono white decks, and sometimes bolt is just what you need, right? So interesting, unusual deck for sure, and I know it has a big following, so we'll do our best with that. Finally, the deck I've been having the most fun playing is this Enduring Ideal deck, and I've been tweaking this like a lot. So it's not the original version, which I believe I stole off of Arielax. But basically, it's a very weird prison combo kind of deck. So how it works is you've got all of these hate enchantments, and I want to switch this around too, because I kind of want to put Stony Silence and Rest in Peace main deck, one each, because it doesn't really affect you too badly. And I also want to take out these temples. I haven't liked them, and there was some other land I was thinking. Ghost Quarter? Yeah, something. There was some other land that I thought would be better in that slot. So, but I'm having a brain fart about it right now, so we'll have to fudge around with it and see what we can do. Basically, so of course it's a white deck, so we got Path to Exile. But I also put in 4 Journey to Nowheres because I was getting run over a lot by aggro decks, right? So we got 8, and then we've got a couple, answers, 3 like answers to basically anything, creature or, well, this is a creature, but Bashing Light O-Ring can hit anything, obviously. Nevermore to prevent them from playing whatever spell is going to ruin your day. Ruined Halo is a very weird, kind of pillow card. Suppression Field. I've in some matches is amazing, but in this deck, sometimes it gets on my nerves because you do have activated abilities, so it's not always good. Sometimes it hurts you too. So that's why I'm thinking I might just keep one and, swap in like 1 Stony and 1 Rest in Peace just as collateral damage to try to hit, other random decks. Because, for example, it makes Peace of Mind, Luminarch Ascension, and Heliod all cost 2 more, and that's kind of annoying. Peace of Mind is there just to gain life and stall. And Luminarch, let me move this over here. Luminarch and Heliod and Form of the Dragon. So, Greater Oromancy obviously protects all your stuff. Sphere of Safety and Ghostly Prison can basically lock out combat eventually at some point. You get a bunch of these, and then finally you end with this, and it's going to take them an insane amount of mana to kill you. Phyrexian Unlife can buy you a ton of time. This, it looks like it's so weird because it almost looks like gain 10 life, right? Like when I first read this, I was like, why didn't they just say gain 10 life? Because it ends up being a lot more than 10 life, because 10 life is if they kill you at exactsies and then hit you again for exactly 10 or more, if they hit you for 92 and you go to negative 92, the infect, because the damage is all dealt at the same time, the infect damage doesn't happen till the next time they deal you damage. So this can buy you a whole extra turn, maybe even 2 turns sometimes, which can be enough to stabilize. Leyline, talking about cards that buy you time, obviously, but basically the whole point of this is to get to a point where you're casting Enduring Ideal. So all of your enchantments staying in play are kind of like ramping you with Nykthos. And then you want to. I know it's weird to be playing a deck with 22 lands that wants to cast 7-drop to win the game, but a lot of the time you'll end up with a shit ton of mana. If you're still alive, you'll have plenty of mana to cast it. So, assuming things are going well and you live long enough to get to 7 mana and cast this, basically that lets you tutor for any enchantment and put it on the battlefield every turn for the rest of the game. Just once, but once can be enough because you can, find the one of Sphere of Safety, Greater Oromancy, Nevermore, whatever it is you need to stay alive long enough to be completely stable. And then these are 3 of the ways to win. So, which, I don't know that you need 3 different ways to win. Because it's funny enough, most of the time I won't end up winning the game with Heliod. Because in order to cast this, it's likely that we have Nykthos. So we have a ton of devotion. Get this guy in play, and then you can start making just a crap ton of clerics, and that gives you more enchantments for Sphere of Safety, right, to keep you alive. And then, there are attackers too, so it's kind of like a double. It's good at keeping you safe and killing your opponent. And meanwhile, this is not necessarily as good at keeping you safe, and this takes a long time to set up. Now this one, sometimes you can play just in the beginning of the game and end up running away with it. Sideboard has a lot of other enchantment bullets and random things to tweak that sometimes work out well for you, and it's a very fun deck, and people get really mad playing against it. I had somebody like totally salty this morning after losing to it because they were so pissed. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So anyway, let me know in the comments which of the decks you liked, which you didn't like, which you want to see videos of. I'm going to actually record with them anyway, all of them anyway, so who cares? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks, bye.